This is Cheyenne Bryant.
You wouldn't have a side chick if you didn't have a wife. You don't want her. And half y'all don't want your wife because you married the crumb and really go screw the loaf.
And she's kind of a fucking loser. What makes her a loser? Well, she lied about being a therapist for 17 years to scam the black community out of our money. This all started after Cheyenne Bryant appeared on the Joe Budden podcast and so arrogantly stated that she does not practice under a license because licensure is only for billing insurance.
I no longer practice under a license.
And why
Now I'm in
wouldn't
private practice. What I'm saying, and
Yeah.
that's what people don't understand, right? So just to educate some folks a little bit, a license is really only needed so you can bill insurance.
Of course, that didn't go over well with her industry peers, and they had a lot to say about her unethical business practices and why having a license as a therapist is very important.
Hello, my name is Dr. Raquel Martin. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, professor of sciences, and podcast host who specializes in Black health and well-being. And I want to break down a clip from the Joe Budden podcast featuring someone who presents herself as Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. But before we dive in, I want to make something incredibly clear. Having a doctorate does not mean someone is a licensed mental health professional. You can have a doctorate in literature and be unlicensed, and you are still a doctor. You can have a doctorate in education and hold an LPC, being a licensed professional counselor, and you are a licensed mental health professional, and you are still a doctor, but your doctorate is not in psychology. When evaluating anyone's credentials, it's really critical to look at two things: what their doctorate is actually in, and whether they hold a relevant clinical license. In this case, the person you're about to hear from is unlicensed. I'm going to break down why that matters and why this particular message is harmful, especially to the Black community that she claims to be serving and that I actually serve.
A license is really only needed so you can bill insurance.
That is incredibly misleading. Yes, you do need a license to bill insurance, but that is not why licensure exists. Licensure protects you. It means I have completed specific education and supervised clinical hours, passed rigorous exams, and I'm accountable to a regulatory board. If I breach confidentiality, if I cross ethical boundaries or harm you, you have somewhere to file a complaint and be sure that I'm held accountable. A license is not paperwork just for billing. It's a consumer protection. When someone drops or loses or no longer has a license, they're not solely avoiding the insurance hassle. They're also removing your recourse if something goes terribly wrong.
Not binded by BBS, the Behavior Board Science Rules and Regulations and Ethics, and so it just opened up a whole nother floor in industry for me.
And she's also saying this like it's a good thing. I want to state something really important. Ethics codes exist to protect you from exploitation and boundary violation and providers practicing outside of their competence. When someone celebrates being free from ethical oversight, I want you to think of that as a red flag, a flashing one. It's a warning sign because those rules exist because real harm happens when they're not in place. So celebrating that you don't have to be accountable to that should be concerning to you.
After this went viral, social media users started questioning the credibility of quote unquote Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and wanted her to prove that she has a doctoral degree and also wanted to see proof of her dissertation.
6 separate degrees, 3 doctorates, 0 proof. There is a video on Club Shay Shay where Dr. Cheyenne Bryant explicitly states that she has 6 separate degrees.
I ran into 6 degrees, 3 doctorates, a master's degree.
And out of those 6 separate degrees, 3 of those are doctorates.
I ran into 6 degrees, 3 doctorates, a master's degree, a house.
She has been a doctoral candidate 3 separate times. And 3 separate times she is unable to find the transcripts proving that she completed said degree. You're telling me this woman has the intellect to sit down and obtain 6 separate degrees, but does not have the intellect to follow through to show proof of her credentials that she's loudly stating on various platforms. 6 separate degrees, 3 doctorates, 0 proof. Make that shit make sense, because 2 + 2 = 4, and she got 7. That don't add up.
Cheyenne went on the Breakfast Club and said this.
went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Why I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years. I was past my 2 years. So that means that I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid. It shows that I paid for a doctoral program alongside my master's program and my undergrad program. And they said, we can fully refund you your money under one circumstance. We give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university, at this institute. So do you want us to refund you? Or do you want us not? I said no.
And Cheyenne, when did you get a law degree to apply at a law school to be a law professor? No credible accredited law school will allow somebody who does not have a law degree to be a professor of law. That does not make sense. This lady lies a lot. That does not make sense. You are lying. Also saying that the school only holds or use a third-party verification system and only held on to your records for 2 years doesn't make sense, because there's people who graduated from Argosy University and they have their proof of coursework, their diploma, and their dissertation. Why don't you?
Listen, as somebody who has a doctoral degree from Argosy University, my research focused on looking at compassion fatigue, burnout rate, and case managers who work directly with children and adolescents. If you want to, you can go on Abisco and look it up.
I love it when the algorithm brings me my people, like my type of people, like my people who like, yeah, hold on, let's stick with the facts. Because what this person is saying is Parchment is up. You can go to Parchment and you can get your transcripts. They are online today. There were multiple people in the comments who said, hey, I graduated from Argosy and yes, I can go to Parchment and get my transcripts. One thing y'all got to do is hold people accountable. Don't let nobody play in your face. Don't let nobody play in your face, lie in your face, be a scammer, and let them get away with it. Facts are facts for a reason.
This female Kevin Samuels shtick that you have going on, sister, it's not working. We see right through it. This whole high-value woman, high-value man, dumbass conversation and advice that you're giving to the public, it's not original, girl. You said on the Shannon Sharp show that you have 6 degrees, 3 of them being doctoral degrees. And yes, Cheyenne, the word is doctoral, not doctorial. Doctorial is not a word.
Paid for a doctoral program.
You have a doctoral degree, allegedly. You say you have 6 degrees, 3 of them being doctoral degrees. Why can't you produce not one dissertation? That does not make sense. And now what you're doing is trying to reverse engineer or like clean it up. So now you're saying, I saw a video, you said something like that you have 6 degrees, 4 being academic degrees, 2 being honorary doctorates.
If I had none of these 6 degrees that I have, none, 4 that are academic and 2 that are honorary doctor degrees, I was
from an uncredited university, by the way. I forgot the Christian university that she got her doctoral degree from. Her honorary doctoral degree from, I think it's Harvesty Christian University, some shit like that. I know Chris Brown recently just got his.
Dr. Chris Brown, who is receiving his honorary doctorate in visual and performing arts.
go.
Since that's not no real school, okay, like I don't care that they gave you an honorary doctorate. You are not a real doctor. This is not the only thing that disgraced Cheyenne Bryant has lied about. She also lied about running for LA mayor.
Two black people running. Because I did this with Los Angeles. I was running for LA mayor. And then I seen our mayor, Karen Bass, come in as a candidate. And she was running against a white male, a Republican, and it was neck to neck. And I knew that had I stayed in the race, neither one of us would have ran because two black people will split the vote. Yeah. So what I'm saying, right, Mark? So what I'm saying is I pulled out so that Karen could win. Right. And she barely won, like Mark is saying, I'm talking about by a needle. Had I even took 200 of her votes, then she wouldn't have won. So I think that Cornell needs to pull back if we want Kamala to win because he's going to take her votes. He's still black. So
12. That's how many people actually qualified for the 2022 LA mayoral ballot. 27 filed paperwork to even try to run, and Ms. Cheyenne Bryant was not one of them. I'm Tanya McKenzie, chair of the LA County Commissioner on Alcohol and Other Drugs, and I keep getting asked if Ms. Cheyenne Bryant ran for mayor of LA. And the answer is no. She campaigned, but there's a difference. Let me explain. There was a website, it's actually still up. There was a banner. There was a Dr. Cheyenne Bryant for LA Mayor 2022 branding. There was some community events, photo ops, the whole production. What there wasn't was a nomination papers filed. There was no candidate statement filed. There was nothing sent to the LA city clerk. So there's that. Her name never hit a ballot. She never made a qualified candidates list. She never showed up on Ballotopia, Wikipedia, or the LA Times Roundup. None of those things happened. But the website is still up. You can go check it out. It still says for LA Mayor 2022. It still reads like a campaign is in progress 3 years later. And that right there is why people are in my DMs asking me if she actually ran for mayor. Because in 2026, a Canva graphic and a confident caption will rewrite history. People don't fact check things. They just screenshot and keep it pushing. So let me be clear with all of you. Announcing a run, building a site, and showing up at a community event is marketing. Filing with the city clerk is running. One is a brand and the other is a ballot. Know the difference, especially before you put it on someone's bio. If you don't control the narrative, the streets will, and it will not be in your favor.
You called your interviews with Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, B. Simone, and Shannon Sharp sessions, when in reality, they're interviews. You simply interviewed or got interviewed by them on their platform. They're not sessions. If you were a real therapist, you would know that. Cheyenne started out calling herself a therapist and now is trying to gaslight all of us and is saying that she never called herself a therapist or promoted herself as a therapist. She's only promoted herself as a psychology expert, whatever that means. Cheyenne, you are lying.
When I said I worked under a license, see, all of this is terminology. If people would open up their ears and do what school teaches therapists to do. I'm not a therapist, but...
Tell the audience out there where you first got your start.
As like a therapist, I started off as a marriage, family, and child therapist about 18 years ago. Before I obtained my doctorate degree in counseling psychology. Once I became a doctor of psychology, I transitioned from a therapist to a psychology expert in private practice. And the group.
There's too many videos out there of you referring to yourself as a therapist and saying that you got your doctorate. You never stated that you got an honorary doctorate. You tried to position it as if you went to school to be a licensed therapist. You also stated that you chose to no longer work under a licensure. Okay, well, how did you prove that you got your doctoral degree in order to go to the state licensure office to get your license in that state if you never had proof of coursework or any of your credits from Argosy University? It doesn't make sense. And as if things weren't already bad for the no proof of coursework Cheyenne Bryant, a panel show that she used to have called Truth Talks with hip-hop journalist Torre resurfaced, where Torre was trying to wrap up the show after a conversation on gentle parenting. For some reason, Cheyenne Bryant got offended and started calling this man soft, saying that he was gentle, and just being ignorant. Like, this ain't the type of bitch you go to if you have mental health struggles, because she just gonna make it worse.
Only externally, but internally, what they do carry at the nucleus of who they are is discipline and boundaries.
If gentle parenting creates gentle children, sign me up. I definitely want to create more gentle adults, especially men. Hold on, everybody, especially men.
You are
My
a gentle,
God, are you kidding? Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. That's what we need in the world is more gentle men who understand.
You're very gentle, and it comes at an angle that doesn't always work for people.
Let's just stop and go back. I'm wrapping the show and you're interrupting me.
First of all,
this is what we spent a whole meeting on this.
First of all, Teray,
why don't you let me wrap the show? I'm ending the show.
What is the point of interrupting me? We're getting out of here.
What is the point? What is the point? It says go to host wrap-up.
When you're talking to me, lower your fucking voice when you're talking to me, because you're acting very, very gentle, very soft, and very feminine. And this is the problem. Teray, you talk to your wife like that. You don't talk to me like that. That is not how you professionally approach me. Don't fucking talk to me like that. Shut the fuck up talking to me like that.
What type of doctor will tell somebody that because they would prefer not to spank their children, they're somehow soft or less than a man? Like, what happens if you have a couple, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, if you're with a couple and the man feels uncomfortable with opening up to his wife about his feelings in fear of being received as a bitch or being soft? You're gonna tell him, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tell him that, bitch, you was a softie and you need to stop being gentle with your wife? That is dumb. No licensed healthcare professional would give that type of ignorant ass advice. You are trash for attacking a man's manhood solely because you have a difference in parenting styles. Let me also say, if you were a real doctor, then you would know there's a bunch of research out there that says that you shouldn't beat your kids. All it does is teach them that if you get mad with somebody or somebody doesn't do what you want them to do, you have the right to smack the shit out of them when you don't.
Parents spanking children is domestic violence.
Absolutely. It's not love.
I mean, if a man treated his wife the way that we think it's okay to treat our children, that would unquestionably be domestic violence.
Yes.
But when you say, like, wow, even as much as your work as I've read, you calling domestic violence feel like, wow, really? But I mean, yeah.
It's contrary to everything we've been taught about corporal punishment. Hitting children is the only form of domestic violence that we call love and for your own good. Think about it this way. If I hit you or you hit me in this moment, somebody's going to jail.
Sure.
Felony offense. If we walk down the street and smack a dog, we're going to get in trouble for that. But hitting children, this is the only group where it is codified in law. In every state, there is a law that tells you how you can appropriately hit a child.
Who wants a therapist that don't know how to self-regulate? Like, you flying off the hinges, sis, and then you talking to the producers like you crazy, when all she trying to do is get you to shut up so he can wrap up the show. But I shouldn't be surprised because I was first introduced to you on Basketball Wives.
I want every woman in here who has ever gotten a
Cheyenne has also had a former client come out and speak on her experience after working with the disgraced Cheyenne Bryant. She states that Cheyenne told her that she was not a high-value woman, which is why she has relationship problems.
I want to make this very clear. I want to thank everybody for support, but also you have your naysayers in the background. Me speaking out is not about me trying to tear somebody down. It's not looking for a platform. I want to educate us. And it's so sad that when we speak up and talk about issues that are going on in our community, the people who speak up get attacked. When you suffer from PTSD and you had two, you think I wanted to reach out to her, look for platforms. You think I wanted to reach out just for myself? No, I wanted to help, which is what I have now. And suffering from a traumatic brain injury, things look different for me than everybody else. So please don't put your experiences on me. But what I will say, encourage each other and speak up when things go wrong. Don't attack people for speaking up. Encourage people to speak up. You guys be blessed, but this stuff, we have to start taking care of each other and stop hurting each other.
My final thoughts are, from what it looks like the lady started the doctoral program, but didn't finish. And since you're 43 years old, you still alive, go take your ass to school and finish and go get the degree. So you can hop on live and say, boom, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Right now, you are a doctor equivalent to Dr. Dre, equivalent to Dr. Seuss. They over there calling you Dr. Pepsi on the internet. Like, you're not a real doctor. I need you to stop saying it, because this is another piece. I saw a TikToker who said that she was a lawyer. She stated that you can actually be sued for lying about being a therapist. And sis, I do not want to see you go to jail because you don't know how to shut the fuck up. Because ultimately, you put this on yourself. Didn't nobody ask you if you was a therapist or not. You wanted to come out and be famous on the internet and stuff and market yourself as a therapist because you got an honorary doctorate degree, when you should have just stayed in your lane. If you somebody who want to give relationship advice and family advice, girl, okay. There's a lot of people who do it. But instead of just doing what those other people do, which is give their opinion, and we, the fans, the public, people who are consuming the content, receive it as those people's opinions, you wanted us to receive you as a credible, qualified professional. And you're not one. And for your response to all this criticism, for your response to be to go and post a picture, I think it was a video of you being in a bikini, to Cardi B's Pretty and Petty, it says it just proves some more that you just a hood chick. Like, you not no real therapist, and it's not wrong with being a hood chick. Be that. Build your audience off of that. But stop lying and saying that you are a healthcare professional and a real therapist when you're not. You don't care about people's mental health. Because anybody who would go on a podcast and say, hey, you're not a high value woman, to a woman who is dealing with being cheated on, mistreated by men, doesn't give a fuck about mental health. You're not helping, you're making it worse. Okay, and just FYI, this is just my 2 cents. Let me know yours in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.